12 hours. That's not a guess, not a rounded-up estimate for a thumbnail. I tracked it obsessively. For 6 weeks I logged every minute I spent copying research from one tab, pasting it into another, reformatting citations, hunting for that one stat I knew I'd saved somewhere but couldn't find. 12 hours and 23 minutes per week, vanishing into the gap between finding information and actually using it. And here's what made me angry: I'm supposed to be good at this. Research is literally my job. But I was hemorrhaging a full workday every single week to what I can only call information friction. Then I rebuilt my entire workflow around 2 tools talking to each other, and those 12 hours collapsed to under 1. I'm going to show you exactly how. Welcome back to Zero Index. Let me frame why this matters beyond just my personal productivity obsession. There's a number that researchers at Microsoft published that should make every knowledge worker uncomfortable. We spend an average of 9.5 hours per week just searching for information we've already found before. Not finding new information. Refinding old information. That's the hidden tax. The real cost of modern research isn't discovery, it's management. And I'll come back to this distinction later because it changes everything about how you should think about AI tools. Here's what most people still believe that is no longer true. They think the bottleneck in their workflow is getting answers. It's not. Perplexity, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you're using, getting answers is essentially solved. The bottleneck has moved. It's now in the space between getting an answer and that answer becoming useful in your actual work. That space is where your time disappears. I want to be precise about this because most people miss it. When I started tracking my research workflow, I assumed my biggest time sink would be the research itself. Wrong. My biggest time sink was a specific sequence that repeated dozens of times per day: find something useful in Perplexity, highlight it, copy it, switch to Notion, find the right page, paste it, format it, go back to add the source, realize I'd closed the tab, search again, find a different version of the same stat, question which one was right, spend 10 minutes verifying. Sound familiar? The data on this is striking. A creator I follow, someone who runs a tech newsletter, measured their own workflow and found they were losing nearly 2 hours per day just clicking between Perplexity, Notion, and Slack. 2 hours of pure friction. No thinking. No creating. Just moving information from one place it exists to another place it needs to be. After setting up the integration I'm about to walk you through, their tool switching dropped by 30%. That's 1.5 hours recovered daily for actual work. Before I get into the workflow itself, I need to explain why Perplexity specifically, and why now. Because 6 months ago this integration wouldn't have been worth building. Perplexity's query volume tripled between mid-2024 and May 2025. From 230 million monthly to 780 million. That's not gradual adoption, that's a phase shift. And there's a reason beyond just marketing. When you benchmark Perplexity against general AI assistants on factual accuracy, it hits 93.9% on the simple QA benchmark. That matters enormously for research workflows. Because the entire value of automating research into your notes collapses if you're automating wrong answers. Here's the part nobody is talking about. 45% of content creators now use Perplexity specifically for fact-checking. Not for initial research, for verification. That tells you something about the accuracy premium. When I'm building a script about, say, AI chip manufacturing, I'm not just looking for interesting angles. I'm looking for claims I can stake my credibility on. The sourcing that Perplexity provides, with inline citations you can actually click, changes what's possible in an automated workflow. And this is where it gets strange. The people who benefit most from this integration aren't the ones doing casual research. They're the ones doing high-volume, high-stakes knowledge work. Finance analysts. Tech due diligence teams. Creators like me who need to be right in public. Teams using AI-powered research automation are reporting 65% less time spent on information gathering and 40% higher accuracy in deliverables. That's not efficiency. That's a different operating model. Let me walk you through exactly what I built. This isn't theoretical, this is the actual workflow running in my Notion workspace right now. Step 1. I created what I call a research inbox in Notion. It's a database with specific properties, topic tags, source quality rating, verification status, and a field for the original Perplexity thread URL. Every piece of research that enters my system lands here first. No exceptions. This sounds obvious, but most people skip it, and that's why their knowledge base becomes a graveyard of unconnected nodes. Step 2. I enabled the Notion connector in Perplexity. This is only available on Perplexity Pro, Enterprise Pro, and Enterprise Max, so yes, there's a cost. But here's what it unlocks. Perplexity can now search across my existing Notion pages and databases while simultaneously pulling from the web. So when I'm researching a topic, the AI is combining what I already know with what's newly available. I can't overstate how much this changes the research process. Instead of starting from zero every time, I'm building on my own accumulated knowledge. Step 3, and this is the part that actually surprised me. I set up an automated workflow using Make, the automation platform, that watches my Perplexity saved threads. When I save a research session, the automation extracts key claims, their sources, and any statistics, then creates a new entry in my research inbox with all of that structured properly. No copy-pasting. No tab switching. The research just appears where it needs to be. Step 4. I use Notion's AI to summarize clusters of research entries when I'm preparing for a script. So if I've saved 15 Perplexity threads about AI chip manufacturing over the past month, I can generate a synthesis in seconds. The citations carry through. The sources stay attached. I'm building on sourced research, not summarized mush. Step 5. Batch processing. Perplexity has a feature most people don't use where you can export multiple conversation threads at once. For someone doing the volume of research I do, this alone saves hours. I do a weekly batch export, the automation processes it, and my Notion research base stays current without any manual intervention. I'll be honest, I did not see this coming. The compound effect of this system is that my research becomes more valuable over time. 6 months of accumulated, structured, sourced research means I can now produce scripts faster while making fewer errors. That's the flywheel that makes the initial setup time worth it. Now let me tell you where this goes badly, because I made every one of these mistakes. The first trap is over-engineering. When I first set this up, I created 17 different database properties, complex filtering systems, elaborate tagging hierarchies. It became so cumbersome that I stopped using it within a week. The version that actually works has 5 properties: topic, source rating, verification status, date, and URL. That's it. Complexity is where productivity systems go to die. The second trap is automating without understanding. Before you connect Perplexity to Notion, you need to actually understand what information you repeatedly look for, what format that information needs to be in when you use it, and where the friction points currently are. If you automate the wrong workflow, you just get wrong outputs faster. The third trap, and this is the one that took me longest to recognize, is treating this as a research tool when it's actually a thinking tool. Here's what I mean. The real value isn't that I can gather information faster. It's that when I sit down to write, I can pull up everything I know about a topic, sourced and organized, and actually think about it instead of spending my mental energy trying to remember where I saw that one stat. The cognitive overhead reduction is the actual product. The time savings are almost a side effect. Remember when I said I'd come back to the distinction between discovery and management? Here's why it matters. Most AI tools are optimized for discovery, finding new information. But the Perplexity Notion integration is optimized for management, making information you've already discovered useful. That shift in focus is why the time savings are so dramatic. You're not getting faster at something you do occasionally, you're eliminating friction from something you do constantly. So here's what actually happened to my workflow. Week 1 of using the new system, I was slower. Setup time, learning curve, fixing broken automations. I probably lost an extra 3 hours that week. Week 2, roughly break even. The system was working, but I kept second guessing it, manually checking things the automation was already handling. Week 3, the switch flipped. I finished a script that would normally take me 2 full days in about 6 hours. Not because I was working faster, but because I never hit the friction points. Research I needed was already there, formatted, sourced, ready to use. By week 6, I ran the numbers. My average research time per video dropped from 14 hours to under 3. My verification time, checking sources, confirming stats, dropped from 2 hours to about 20 minutes because the citations were already embedded. My total time savings across all research-heavy work, 12 hours and 23 minutes per week. And here's the part that wasn't in my original hypothesis. The quality went up. Fewer errors in my scripts. More specific examples. Better sourcing. When you remove the friction from research, you don't just do the same research faster, you do more of it because it's no longer painful. I want to end somewhere uncomfortable. This workflow isn't special. I'm not a programmer, I don't have a technical background, the automation tools I used have templates that do most of the work. Anyone with a Perplexity Pro subscription and a Notion account can build this in an afternoon. Which means the question isn't whether this kind of workflow is possible. It's why you haven't built one yet. And honestly, the answer for most people is that the cost of friction is invisible. You don't notice 12 hours disappearing across a week because it's distributed. 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there. It feels like work. It feels productive. But it's not. It's maintenance disguised as progress. Here's what I'd do if I were starting from zero today. Pick one recurring research task you do. Just one. Build the smallest possible version of this system around that single task. A research inbox in Notion, the Perplexity connector enabled, one automation that moves saved threads into your inbox. Start there. See what changes. Then expand. The people who figure out this layer of the stack, the connection layer between AI tools and productivity systems, are going to have a structural advantage for years. Because they're not just using AI to get answers. They're using it to build compounding knowledge systems that make them better at their work every single week. That's the real arbitrage. And right now, almost nobody is taking it seriously. If you want more workflows like this, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.